We are now just 3 days away from Tuesday, August 1st, the day Cedar Point is scheduled to officially announce their new for 2024 roller coaster, also known as Thrill Dragster 2.0. There's been a lot of news about this ride lately, so before Tuesday and before the official announcement, let's just review everything we already know about this ride. I think this will help prevent some people from being too disappointed, and for some, maybe this video will help get you excited. This video is just a recap about everything that's commonly known about this project, and everything that's already been debunked. If you'd like to wait until the official announcement, I'll be hosting a watch party Tuesday morning during the official Cedar Point announcement, so stay tuned for that. The biggest piece of news regarding this ride is that we had a lot of rumors debunked this week. The director of communications for Cedar Point, Tony Clark himself, debunked a lot of rumors that were spreading around social media. Tony Clark took to Point Buzz to debunk these rumors. Point Buzz is a very old-fashioned Cedar Point forum which was launched in 2004. Personally, I've never heard of Point Buzz, so I was a little surprised that's the place he chose to make a statement. It was an official statement on an unofficial website. I don't see why he could have just used his Twitter or something, since he's super active on there. I think most people learned of it through reposts on Twitter anyways, but oh well, that isn't super relevant. In his comment on Point Buzz, Tony Clark stated two important things. Firstly, the leaked ride page for Thrill Dragster 2.0 that stated its name was Polaris was confirmed to be fake. I made a video on this leaked ride page, and I thought it seemed pretty fake as well, but now it's official. This ride page is fake. I was a little hopeful, but this makes a lot of sense. The leaked page had a lot of red flags in it that was screaming it was fake. Not to mention, the Polaris trademark has expired for Cedar Fair. They can't legally use that name anymore, so that is not the ride's name. Next, in his statement, Tony explained that the shipping stickers from Zamperla are just leftover containers from their Zamperla 2023 Wild Mouse roller coaster. He clarified that these containers have nothing to do with Thrill Dragster, and I'll take his word for it. That story makes sense. When I saw these shipping containers, I thought it was confirmed that Zamperla was working on this project, but it seems like I was wrong. Zamperla still isn't ruled out, but it seems like I got this information wrong, and I apologize. So now that a lot of these rumors have been debunked, it seems like we're back to square one, at least when it comes to speculation. Based on the construction of this ride, the advertising campaign, and basic roller coaster knowledge, there are features and elements we know this ride will have, and those can't be debunked. Everything from footer placement to track shipments, and the ride construction in general, tell us a lot about this ride. So first of all, we know this ride is still going to have a racing theme. Cedar Point has started a teaser campaign around the ride with statements like, "Get revved up, 8-1-23, smoke the competition, a new formula for thrills, drive the sky, and accelerate your adrenaline." Now, if that isn't on the nose enough for you, they've also included what I believe to be the new ride's logo, along with the word racing. This also could be a C and a P for Cedar Point Racing, but still, either way, it's a racing theme. At this point, I have absolutely no doubt about it. The new Formula for Thrills teaser sounds a lot like Formula 1 to me. So does this mean this ride will be themed to F1 racing? Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Next, we know for a fact that some of the pieces of launch track on Thrill Dragster have been shipped off-site to be refurbished, and then have returned months later with new electrical equipment on them. I know many of us have been slowly watching these pieces of track disappear from Cedar Point and slowly reappear. This month, many of those pieces have returned to Cedar Point, and they look a little different. And it's not just the launch track either. The track for the brake run has also been refurbished, with new drive tires, new sensors, and new brake fins. All of this new equipment on this track tells us something. The launch track wouldn't have junction boxes unless it had a new magnetic launch, most likely an LSM launch. This is the type of launch you can find on rides like Maverick, Pantheon, and Cheetah Hunt. These LSM launches are a lot more reliable than the old hydraulic launch, but it might end up being a little less exciting and a little less forceful. Still, I'd wait until we see the actual ride before you make any judgments about it. Next, we know this ride will have a new color scheme because the ride is currently being repainted as we speak. For weeks, crews at Cedar Point have been repainting the ride, mainly the launch track and the supports, to white and gray. Now, I can't say with certainty that these will be the only new colors, and that the color scheme is white and gray, because they still haven't finished painting yet, so there could be more colors to come. I know the new logo they've been teasing features red in it, so maybe we'll get red somewhere. But I don't think it's up for debate that this ride is getting new colors, and I'm pretty sure we know most of them. Next, based on the construction of the ride, we know this ride is going to have a backward spike in it. Currently, there are footers leading backwards through the old ride station, out into the pond by Iron Dragon. Then there are 3 footers in a triangle formation, and when there's a group of footers in a small location, that typically indicates track high above the ground. And then these footers just end, so we know the ride is going to traverse this track, up a high point, and then back down through the same track. And once again, I don't believe this is up for debate anywhere. I believe this is commonly accepted, but the exact speeds, height, and details aren't really known yet. We have to wait until Tuesday. Next, if this ride's going to have a backward spike, I'm pretty sure that means it's going to have a swing launch. You can find swing launches on rides like Pantheon, at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and on Icebreaker at SeaWorld, Orlando. These rides launch forwards, backwards, and then forwards again, all on the same section of track. When a ride launches multiple times over the same section of track, this is referred to as a swing launch. Now there are rides out there that feature a backward spike but don't feature a swing launch, like the Mr. Freeze clones at the Six Flags parks. But considering this ride has to get over a 420-foot top hat, I'm pretty confident in saying it's going to have a swing launch. Next, we know if this ride has a swing launch, it's going to need some sort of transfer track. And I believe we're already seeing construction on that. Not only are we seeing construction on what seems to be a transfer track, but there's also footers that line up parallel with what seems to be a swing launch. So if there's two pieces of track side by side, they're going to need a transfer track. A turn would be way too sharp, and the trains wouldn't be able to maneuver that. Plus, the footers line up perfectly with where the transfer track construction seems to be. A transfer track like this would be very similar to Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, where the train starts in the station, loads onto the transfer track, and then slides over onto the swing launch, and then the ride launches back and forth. It would be similar to Icebreaker, but on a much larger scale. Now, all of these things that I just mentioned haven't been officially announced yet, so take all of these with a grain of salt, but I'm pretty confident in these, and most of these are generally accepted by the general public, as well as coaster enthusiasts. So none of this is officially announced by Cedar Point, but most of these you can just know by looking at the construction. The footer placement, the new track, and the teasers tell us a lot about the ride. So no, none of this is official, but I think most of us know these are going to be features on the new ride. You don't have to believe me, but these aren't predictions, I have evidence, and it's pretty substantial. One thing I do not want to speculate about is the manufacturer. It seems pretty likely it's going to be Zamperla or Intamin, but frankly, we don't have that much evidence. So I can't put that in a video called Everything Known About Top Thrill Dragster 2.0, because basically, nobody knows it yet. I guess we'll just have to wait till Tuesday. I have my own theories and my own speculation, but I believe I've speculated enough in my previous videos. I really can't wait for this announcement on Tuesday though, I'm super excited. In my eyes, all this speculation has really increased the hype. Cedar Point doesn't even have to do any teasing, the enthusiasts will do it for them. Ultra Orion, Theme Park Predictions, and Lake Erie Lifestyles have garnered hundreds of thousands of views for this topic, and honestly, they've done Cedar Point's job for them. The hype is through the roof. If you're as excited for this announcement as I am, I will be hosting a watch party of the Cedar Point announcement early Tuesday morning. It'll be a lot of fun, filled with speculation, and everyone is welcome to share their thoughts. I hope to see you there. If there's anything we know about Top Thrill Dragster 2.0 that I missed in this video, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Also, let me know about what you think of these new elements, and if you're excited for this new ride. And stay tuned for more Cedar Point news. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.